Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons my back size sucked for the first 20 years of my training. Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. All right, back size. When I look at my back size now, I can definitely tell a big difference over where it was back in 2006, 2007, before I discovered powerlifting, before I discovered some of the major lifts like deadlifts and pendlay rows, and even things like VersaGrips. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my training then. I'm going to talk about what changed, and I'm going to talk about how I took my back from a really mediocre body part to one of my strongest. Now, for my first 20 years of training, I wasn't training weak. I was training my back with the same intensity as every other body part, but I didn't really know about some of the big lifts like the pendlay rows and the deadlifts, and I'm going to get into this list in just a minute. I was doing the best I could with what I had. I was doing lat pulls, seated cable rows, machine rows, and things like that. All fine lifts, but there was something big missing from my training. Now, if you're struggling to put on back size, I want you to listen to this video and take this advice and try to apply it and see if it makes a difference. All right, 5 reasons my back size sucked for 20 years. Number 1, I was not deadlifting. Now, the deadlift is kind of a unicorn lift. It hits the back and it hits a lot of other body parts. So it's not just a back exercise, but that doesn't mean it's not great for the back. In my opinion, the deadlift is a wonderful exercise for the back, for your traps, for your mid back, and even for your lats. On days when I really crush deadlift reps, when I really crush volume, more than anything else, my lats are super sore. In the world of bodybuilding and muscle building, sometimes we overcomplicate things so much that we put lifts into certain body part boxes, and we forget that lifts like the deadlift are so impactful that they are not just going to hit your traps and not just going to hit your lower back and erectors, but they can beat the living crap out of your lats and mid back. So adding the deadlift was a key component. I first learned about the deadlift around 2006, 2007 as a machinist. It's not a lift that was talked about a lot in the mid 80s when I got into lifting. I was looking at the bodybuilding magazines and a few bodybuilding books, and occasionally you'd see a picture of someone deadlift, but there wasn't any hype. There wasn't any of this big deadlift is a king exercise, right? There wasn't anything like that. So you just didn't do it. I didn't see a lot of people doing the exercise. Now, number 2, and this is a big one for me, around 2006, 2007, and I started lifting in 86. So around 2006 was my 20 years. I had really horrible elbow tendonitis, about as bad as you can get from 20 years of gripping and doing, dumbbell rows and seated cable rows without grip support. Now, why is this tip important? By adding grip support, more specifically VersaGrips, my elbow tendonitis basically went away completely in a year. But more importantly, I was able to move more weight. I was able to move more weight on a lat pull down, the seated cable row, and the dumbbell row. Now, the dumbbell row specifically, at the time, doing 3 sets of 10 with 120 was my limit. I thought that was the ultimate strength level. There was never going to be any more. In fact, I never even saw dumbbells over 120. And I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but by adding VersaGrips, I was able to get my dumbbell row way above 120 in the levels I never thought was humanly possible. So just by adding grip assistance, I could use more weight on nearly every back exercise as a late intermediate lifter, and this only helped to increase my back size. All right, number 3, I relied too much on cables and machines. I mentioned this earlier. Seated cable rows, lat pull downs, machine rows, and I did dumbbell rows, but they're very moderate compared to the weight I use now. I was very cable and machine focused. That's just kind of the world I created for myself, and I thought I was doing fine. My back training now is the opposite. It's barbell and dumbbell focused. It's deadlifts or rack pulls. It's dumbbell rows. It's Pendley rows, even T-bar rows. It's anything with a barbell and dumbbell as the core. And then from there, I move on to cables and machines. So by making this switch in focus, it really helped to bring up my back size because I was using more impactful compound exercises that just had a greater overall impact on my back training. All right, number 4, I'd never heard of nor used a Pendley row, even a barbell row, right? I just didn't know about this. It really wasn't until Dorian Yates started doing the Yates row that the row came on my radar at all. But I never saw really anybody doing a barbell row, certainly not a Pendley row. That was a more modern creation. When I stumbled on the Pendley row, I found by doing this exercise, I was really able to use a lot of weight, a lot of power, maintain good form, and really get those back muscles working. I could really feel the back and lats during a Pendley row. By incorporating the Pendley row into my routine, this had a big impact overall on my back size. All right, finally, number 5, my dumbbell row strength was super weak compared to now. Super weak. I told you I was at 3 sets of 10 with 120s. I thought that was the limit. I thought that was the be-all, end-all. The fact of the matter is eventually I got to well above that, 100 pounds over that. The dumbbell row is a lift you have the potential to do a lot more with than you're doing now. It's a lift that when you look in the modern landscape, so many people are turning it into this fluffy, pumpy, let's pull it back here. And that's fine. Using 50 pounds on a dumbbell row is not fine. Your back is a strong muscle group, and you want to do those fluffy and pumpy rows, that's fine. You still have to do progressive overload. But I think there is a lot of value in forcing your dumbbell row to get a heck of a lot stronger than it is now. Now, the irony of this in the modern landscape is that if you do a bench press push and you use power off your chest and you get up to 120s on the dumbbell bench, you're a god, right? You're worshipped, your strength level is off the charts. If you use power to bring the dumbbells to your chest, everybody shits their pants on Instagram and on YouTube comments, and all of a sudden doing the opposite of a dumbbell bench, you're a heretic and you have no idea what good form is and you're getting nothing out of it. I'll tell you right now, and you can try this for yourself if you want. If you think I'm an idiot, don't try it. But by incorporating a heavy dumbbell row with good form, now don't make any mistake, I drive my shoulders and elbows back and I can really feel my back and lats work. By driving the weight back, using heavy weight and focusing on good form, I can really feel my back and I'm really getting a quality back workout. Now, just in summary, the first 20 years of my training, I was cables and machines, not a heck of a lot of progression because these exercises cap out a lot easier than dumbbell and barbell rows. I wasn't doing the dumbbell row heavy. I wasn't doing the Pendley row or the T-bar row or any barbell row really heavily. And I wasn't doing the deadlift or rack pull. So really by incorporating heavy ass weight, heavy deadlifts and rack pulls, heavy dumbbell rows, Pendley rows, heavy barbell rows, and T-bar rows, my back went from one of my weaker body parts to arguably my strongest, right behind my triceps. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.